Hey, you guys, happy Friday to you. You're about to enter into the weekend. If you've already are at home and watching this or, going to watch it tomorrow, I just want to say happy Friday to you. And as you know, as I've been saying on Create a Generational Love Cycle on my podcast, and I've spread the word, my thoughts about Fridays through social media posts, that I consider it Freedom Friday. And it's where you actually you take out the trash. You take out unhealthy thoughts, seeds of unhealthy thoughts that people probably have scattered on you, And when I think of unhealthy thoughts, I think about consistent anger, anxiety, low self-worth, low confidence. Anything that somebody has said or done to you that you've been holding on this entire week. Today is the day to really let it go. Every day should be a day where you really assess your inner garden and you see, okay, what is in me that needs to be out of me? What behaviors, what words have I said? Where did I pick that up from, right? Because this energy is transferred from one person to the next, right? We could be around people and next, we're saying things that they have said. We have our mannerisms, how we hold our face. And if you are observant of those, you'll say, oh man, I just said something that sounded like my father, or did something that sounded like did something that looked like my husband's, what he does. One of my clients I've shared in the past that, she was talking and it sounded so much like a man. And she said, this is what my husband says to me. And we were actually out somewhere at an event on the plane. And a lady was cursing. We were actually on our way. Were we coming? We were on a plane. I can't remember. We were going to Oregon or if we were on our way coming home. And the mother was cursing. And the daughter said, Mom, you sound like Dad. We have to daily assess ourselves and say, what have I allowed to be sown in my inner garden? What thoughts are building up in me or sprouting in me and becoming weeds and actually robbing the fruits of my spirit, robbing those things that I'm working on with compassion and, embracing that in love. But I'm starting to, have some bitterness or some anger, some resentment. Where have I picked that up at? What have I allowed to influence me? Right? Because yes, we're going to come across people. We're going to come across energies, but it is up to us to really assess our garden, assess ourselves, assess our mind, assess who we are, and to not allow that information to either come in us or stay long within us. That we have to pull these thoughts, these unhealthy thoughts, out by their roots. And I call that cultivation of your inner garden, cultivation of your mind, cultivation of your heart. We often want to stop heart disease with food and exercise. But we have to also think about how we're perceiving what people say. You're unworthy. I don't like you because you look like this. I don't like you because you sing like this, like you walk like this, you talk like this, And I put a post out earlier this week that basically said there are too many people that are walking around believing their life has no meaning, no purpose. And we see that in statistics. We see that in teenage suicide, children's suicide, homicide, violence, resentment, that if we believe that our lives had worth, had meaning, will we do some of the things that we are doing? Will we waste our time on our emotions and feelings such as anger and resentment and shame and bitterness? Or will we be more compassionate, more non-judgmental, more loving toward others? And I came across a quote. In the morning, there are a few things I do. I pray. I aim to pray every morning. I will read from the Bible. I'll read from books. Right now, I'm in the book of Proverbs with the Bible, but I'm also reading the complete works of Florence Shinn. And she considered herself a truth teacher. So I'm reading her book. I've read James Allen. So pray, I meditate. I also do affirmations, and I do those throughout. I just don't do that in the morning. And I read. And so that's my PM and visualization, PMVRA, right? I've summed it up that way. And so I was looking through my paperwork in my folder. I keep a folder full of my pictures, visualization pictures, etc. And I don't know if there's some unspoken word that you're not supposed to show this, but this is my folder. I would have it on my wall, but right now where we're at, I can't be thumbtacking everything on my wall. So I have tape on some of the things on my wall that I look at. But I came across a quote from Dr. Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. We're actually doing our Bible and devotion with our children on one of his books, which is Understanding Your Potential. So anyway, I came across a quote, and it says, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Abuse will happen. It is inevitable. It will happen. Because if we don't know who we are, then easily I believe that inner hatred can build up. And especially when we have others that may treat us a certain way, disrespect us, say things to us or not say things to us, do things and not do things for us, that we can build up an inner hatred. We don't know what this life that we have, we don't know what it's for. You know, we can make not so good judgment calls. You know, we're just walking around in life with, you know, I'm just a kid, a teenager, I'm just a parent. And, you know, we get so trapped in our roles instead of realizing we are a divine spirit in human clothing. And we are here for divine reasons. We have gifts, talents, we have experiences that we're supposed to learn from, to share the wisdom with our children. Because, again, the more we teach something or share something or remind people of stuff, the more we remind ourselves that, oh, I'm telling my children they have meaning, life, purpose, they're here for reasons, then I must be here for a reason too. You know, other than just being in the role of mother, I have gifts and talents that I am to share with people that are placed in my path as well as outside of my path. So do you. So I thought that, I was like, yeah, because if you don't know what you stand for, then you're apt to do anything and everything. Then we think about teenage pregnancy, we think about low self-esteem, low confidence. We think about when, you know, teenage suicide, children's suicide, homicide, resentment. If we really knew what we were here to do and what greatness lies in us, would we be doing a lot of things that we're doing? Will we be abusing others? Will we be neglecting our children, neglecting others? Will we be doing that? And it's when we have a spiritual awakening that we say, okay, no, my life is more than what I've been thinking about or not thinking about these past few years. I deserve better. I deserve love. To love someone to be loved. I deserve to be in quality relationships with people that empower me, that support me, and I support them. A two-way street relationship versus a one-way street where you're always giving and then they're not giving things in return. You know, you start, your whole mindset starts to change. And when your mind changes, your outside environment change. The people you hang out with, the words that you say, the things that you do. And it's not about judging others on what plane they're on, what level they're on, what level of consciousness they're on. It is having what Jesus had, that compassion. That you have somehow forgotten who you truly are. And that in a world that what the things that we're seeing, yes, it's easy to want to judge others, especially when we have not been in their shoes, when we don't know what they've grown up with. And it's not about making excuses, but it's about thinking about all these seeds that have been sown into them. Socialization, all these seeds that have been sown into them throughout their lives. The, lack of self-worth, This is what you're supposed to do. You're just supposed to hang out in the streets. There's nothing really. You want to be a writer? No, you can't do that. You want to paint art? No, you can't do that. Stay here, and just hang out with me. Do this, and it's daily that we need to remind ourselves that we have meaning and purpose. And when you think about all the stuff that we struggle with, the eating healthy, the exercise, the how we talk to ourselves, the positive self-talk, all of that stuff starts to shape in when we realize who we are. When we realize we are more than just this bodily figure. When we realize, oh, wow, I have something to share. I have something to give that no one else can do it like I do. And when you know that, when you truly know that in your heart, you will see there will be a shift in your life. I believe that. I've seen it where you can be positive, then you can start having these negative thoughts and start going down that dark alley. And then you can rise again, like Maya Angelou, rise again and realize, oh, wait a minute. Let me get back to my default settings. Let me get back to who I naturally am. And all this pushing and fighting and pulling and tugging, I think will be no more. And when there's a more flow to our life and more into the divine plan of our lives, that again, we will have compassion versus judgment. We will have love versus hate. And we will have faith versus fear. I'll talk to you guys soon. Think about it. Take time. You are so worth it to really take time and ask yourself, what is in me that doesn't belong? Because eventually it will find its way out. And it's all about prevention, what I learned as a child. There are so many things that we can prevent from happening if we stay conscious of what's going on in our lives. That we are not in the past and thinking about what could have, should have, would have, but we're in the present and looking for a direction, looking for the light, looking for perfect self-expression. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourself. As always, make this lifetime great because you still can.